The floor was covered in blood. Contracts that are as immobile as time itself. Like backstage mirrors, friendships broke apart, with each fragment representing treachery, deceit, and genuine suffering masqueraded for the big screen. And now, finally, the one voice that no one had anticipated speaking again did. Bambi. Not glam, no filter, no music in the background. One sentence that sparked 1,000 comment threads, one faint light, and one shaking hand clutching the phone. This was greater than Scrappy and me. No justification, don't apologize, just digital receipts as a payload, screenshots, voice memos, emails with a timestamp. And below everything was a tone that said, "I'm not blameless. However, I'm not the only one at fault." What came next was a controlled explosion rather than a confession. The first clip she played, the direct, harsh, and terrifyingly frigid voice of Mona Scott. "We win the battle. We obtain the video. Leave the rest to God." The second one, Stevie J, someplace off-screen, half drunk. "I'm laughing." The sound of the ice clinking in his glass was audible. "He is gentle." It was always. When you give him a slight shove, he folds. Like fireworks in a powder keg, the comments burst into flames. They framed him. This was an ambush, not a reunion. Where is Scrappy? Is he all right? TikTok collapsed. Reddit transformed into an electronic courtroom. YouTube flooded with malfunctions lasting an hour. The headline that shouted over all feeds came next. The fallout from love and hip-hop is now a federal case. Let's rewind the tape first, though, before moving on. Because Bambi's Instagram Live was the actual first act of justice, even though the fight felt like the culmination. Fans thought the worst was over 3 days after the backstage chaos left Stevie J jailed and Scrappy hospitalized. They were mistaken. Completely incorrect. Because Bambi revealed a timeline that was worthy of a subpoena, not simply a narrative. An in-depth analysis of how things were designed, manipulated, and marketed as amusement, but were actually experienced as genuine, unadulterated trauma. As the tears fell, she didn't blink. Remained unflinching when fans referred to her as Judas in lashes. She said, staring directly into the lens, "I never played the bad guy. The warning was myself." But she provoked anger rather than pity. Then why? The rumor was confirmed by her. Yes, she was preparing a covert spin-off with Stevie J title of work. Uncut. Beauty and the Beast. Yes, when Scrappy was still in the throes of the divorce, Mona gave it a silent go-ahead. The betrayal begins. Insiders claim that Scrappy only learned about it 72 hours prior to the reunion taping. No warning, no opportunity to think. His former and his opponent now co-star in a show based on his anguish, transforming mere rumors into news stories. Then, the sedatives. At that point, the story ceased to be dubious and began to resemble criminal intent, because a second crew member, anonymous, voice disguised, appeared on a late-night podcast immediately following Bambi's live. What did he disclose? Relaxing. Notes were present, real notes on paper. Which actor should I emotionally probe? Scrappy's file? It is 3 pages long. Points of trigger, prompts from the script, even fallback answers in case he didn't fall for it. Production workers were told to agitate him, he said. Bambi was fed those lines beforehand. Hence, like a theatrical performance, the random encounter backstage was shut out. The quotation that ignited the internet? They desired a breakdown. They experienced a meltdown. The difference is that he might never get better. The document that caused supporters to yell then arrived. A former VH1 showrunner leaked it. Noted. Privacy title? Crisis Pathway. Playbook. Managing emotional outbursts on air. The points and bullets? Enough to sicken even seasoned viewers of reality TV. Be prepared for legal risk. Contracts should be planned appropriately. Camera angles should come before emotional safety. Use family members as stressors. See Mama D. All reactions, violence, breakdowns, and tears are assets for production. Take a moment to process that. Scrappy's downfall, the cries of his mother, the paramedics, pre-approved. Everything was captured on camera. Everybody owns it. One last line marked the end of the clip. Do not cut if feelings flare up. Allow the narrative to unfold. The fans were taken aback. Some people actually sobbed as they saw what was meant to be a reunion turn into a breakdown in real life. Others swore aloud and demanded boycotts. posting invoices, revealing years of abuse, but a lot they organized and retaliated in the only manner possible, through a lawsuit. But the first lawful shot wasn't fired by Scrappy. No, the former cast members came from a variety of locales in the LHH universe, including Hollywood, Miami, New York, and Atlanta. They came together with a single deadly assertion: emotional abuse pattern for financial gain. The people that filed the lawsuit? The show's defining names were, at one point Joseline Hernandez said, "Y'all not gonna get my tears no more," and stomped off set. K. Michelle, who claimed she was used for trauma porn when her breakdowns went public. The comedian-turned-spy Young Jock is sharing court documents with the following caption: "They performed for us like unscripted performers. They are now being sued like blind directors." And they sparked the match with a single hashtag, "All y'all did this too." Then, the legal hammer fell to the ground. There were federal subpoenas. VH1 was instructed to deliver all uncut video, each uncut audio recording internal correspondence notes about production, even private Slack chats used to plan reunions. However, it didn't end there. The document specifically referenced Mona Scott's private emails, voicemails, and messages. Because what happened isn't all that matters here. The question is, who knew, as well as when? Scrappy, meanwhile, vanished, not taken into custody. Not in treatment. In the desert of Arizona, he checked into a private mental health resort. No cell phones, not a press, just tranquility. His attorney handed down a single severe sentence: "My client suffers from panic disorder, stress-induced flashbacks, and memory gaps brought on by trauma. He's not feeling good. Additionally, he is unavailable." The internet paused, only for a second. Then, Mama D shared a picture. Head bent, in a chapel with candles, Scrappy. Is there a caption? "My baby is getting better. You guys are in hell." That was sensed by the culture. Bambi reappeared. Keep quiet. Not invisible, though. She posted the following 25-minute vlog. They decided on violence. I decided to survive. The background is a soft piano. Dim illumination. She spoke in a shaky but practiced voice. She mentioned mistreatment, of treachery, of toxic men. Fans, however, didn't buy it. The section for comments? A battlefield. "What you started, you survived. An Emmy for this gaslighting is in order. This is a rerun, not a redemption arc. The part where you sold him out was cut out. Your audience is no longer us." Then, boom. One more twist. Screenshots from 2 months prior to the reunion taping. A leaked text thread. Mama D: "Keep Stevie away from my child. That tension is unnecessary for him." Bambi: "Leave it to production. It is presently above me. Mic drop." Evidence indicates Bambi was aware of Scrappy's mental state and still allowed it to occur. The bite consequences? Disastrous. All Love and Hip Hop filming was temporarily halted by VH1. Overnight, every member of Mona Scott's PR staff quit. Within 48 hours, Netflix approved the documentary series Unscripted Damage: The Dark Side of Reality TV. Scrappy's crew, meanwhile, rejected 3 record deals. A come-up after a breakdown was not what they desired. Rather, his book is a memoir, by hand, silently. Title? No cameras, no mercy. Joseline shared a vintage selfie on social media. "Years ago, I told you that Mona was the devil. Look now." Then, the last blow arrived. A clip that was leaked from a backup drive covered in dust. Buttoning his shirt, Stevie J. Bambi at his side. Anxious, keeping an eye on the door. He tilts in. First, let him swing. "We'll pretend to be victims. You weep. Legal is what I speak. They'll accept our story. They always do. 12 million views in a single day." Stevie's attorney? Extracted from context. Scrappy's attorney? That wasn't a plan. It was a case of career homicide. Then the marketers left. Pepsi Nova Fashion, BBET, even cosmetics and hair companies issued statements. Productions that take advantage of mental health for their own ends are not supported by us. Mona developed an empire in 5 days, came tumbling down. Nobody wants their name associated with Scrappy's demise. Then, an additional twist. A book deal was given to Bambi, not to say sorry, not to elaborate, to possess it. Pitch to a publisher. Write the origin story of your villain. Title of work: Wife. Betrayed, the Bambi blueprint is to blame. It isn't a memoir, it is a manifesto. She hasn't signed. However, her lack of response? Out loud, Scrappy has chosen to go in a new direction. No music, not a press. Simply be silent. Live streams with a therapeutic focus. Dim illumination. He offers up prayers. He reads mail from fans. People also observe. For this time, they don't perform the agony. It has been processed. His bio on Instagram, they recorded my suffering. I'm regaining it now. Mona, she is now the lead in a drama that she did not write, edit, or even have any control over. Being examined for immoral methods of manufacturing negligence based on emotion. Possible criminal assistance in causing harm if charged? She might be. Subject to multi-million-dollar fines, industry prohibitions, and civil litigation. Thus, we now inquire, was Scrappy the object of desire or the danger? Did Bambi manipulate, or was she manipulated? Was Stevie only a pawn or the bad guy? Mona, too. She might not have broken any laws. However, she broke something more significant. A man. A household, a legacy. Leave a comment below with your opinions. Scrappy team? Bambi's team? Is the team shutting down? Take that like and smash it. Click subscribe, because there is no doubt about it. The video will be released soon. Uncut, unrestricted, unforgiving. When does it happen? We'll all be able to witness what actually transpired? Not pre-written, not world, just the truth.